She said, "Your new company is going to fail. I'm taking the Porsche." I replied by showing her the official SEC documents confirming the acquisition of her father's business. My company had just absorbed his entire failing operation. Her betrayal left her father financially ruined and her entire family exposed. Don't miss the twist. Subscribe to the channel and be part of the journey. I, Adam, age 36, male, had been with Xyro, age 32, for 6 years. I worked as a senior corporate finance analyst for a specialized consulting firm in Atlanta, Georgia. My salary was a stable $185,000 per year. I focused on mergers and acquisitions strategy and valuation analysis. Xyro worked as a luxury goods buyer for a high-end department store. Her income was commission-based, averaging $70,000 annually. Our combined visible income of $255,000 allowed for a nice, but highly image-conscious Atlanta lifestyle. We owned an $850,000 modern condo in the Buckhead neighborhood. I drove a practical BMW 3 Series sedan for my daily commute. Xyro insisted on driving a leased, sleek Porsche Macan SUV for maintaining her client image. We frequently dined at expensive, trendy restaurants in Midtown that catered to the finance and luxury retail scene. Our social life was dominated by Xyro's continuous networking efforts to advance her status. In late February, a monumental career opportunity arrived that I had quietly pursued for nearly a year. I was offered the position of head of private equity operations for a prestigious global investment firm. The role was based in Geneva, Switzerland. The package was precisely the step up I needed for global financial control. It included a base salary of $500,000. Additionally, they offered an annual housing and relocation stipend of $100,000. The total annual cash compensation was $600,000. I waited until we were eating a quiet dinner at home before presenting the offer to Xyro for discussion. I presented the comprehensive offer clearly. "This new role is a massive, life-altering promotion," I stated calmly. "It moves us to Geneva with nearly triple the salary," I explained, citing the total figure. Xyro did not even look at the documents. She continued eating her meal with careful precision. She answered dismissively, "The Swiss market is too small, and the culture is too stuffy for my brand, Adam. This is an executive position overseeing billions in assets," I responded, keeping my voice level. She finally scoffed, a familiar, condescending sound. "Head of private equity sounds dry and utterly bureaucratic, completely lacking innovation. It represents absolute financial mastery and stability," I answered steadily. She then focused on her own family's purported financial superiority. "Your stable job will always be subordinate to my father's entrepreneurial risk-taking." Her final mockery of my quiet, analytical career confirmed her deep disrespect. Update 1. I quietly accepted the head of private equity operations position the next morning. My start date was set for the second week of June, allowing 3 months for transition. I began preparing for the move and the separation without involving Xyro in the specifics. I knew any discussion would be emotionally volatile. Xyro continued her cycle of casual public dismissal. She told her friend, Sarah, that my new job was a pathetic attempt to run away from Atlanta's competitive market. "Adam is terrified of real risk, so he's hiding in a Swiss bank," Xyro often told Sarah. Sarah, a local luxury event planner, openly sided with Xyro's emphasis on perceived glamour. Our mutual acquaintances generally dismissed the move as an overreaction to simple pressure. "Why trade the energy of Atlanta for neutral Switzerland?" "Adam," asked David, a friend, "I am moving toward strategic, global management," I replied simply. I accelerated my private preparations. I established a new, highly secure private banking account in Geneva. I began transferring the majority of my investment portfolio into this new structure. I secured a small, high-end rental apartment near the Vieux Ville in Geneva. Crucially, I maintained close, confidential communication with the M&A team at my new firm. I was providing them with precise, non-public financial valuation data on Xyro's father's failing business, Kent Luxury Imports, which my firm was preparing to acquire. I was building both my future and my final leverage. I retained the services of an experienced contract lawyer, Marcus Chen, to handle the pre-divorce structuring. Update 2. I announced my final, irrevocable decision on a Thursday evening in mid-May. Xyro and I were in the living room. I sat across from her and spoke in a steady, measured tone. I am moving to Geneva in 3 weeks, I stated simply. The separation papers are ready. Xyro looked up, her face a mask of shock, quickly hardening into rage. You are trying to steal my prime networking years with this ridiculous move. The relocation and the divorce filing are now executed. I confirmed. The situation is final. She launched into a furious confrontation, demanding I surrender the new equity and reverse the filing. She claimed I was destroying her family connections. You are destroying 11 years of partnership, she insisted loudly. You frequently mocked my career and commitment, I countered calmly. She then delivered the predictable ultimatum, believing the threat of asset seizure would stop me. You must choose Atlanta or your boring Swiss contract, she stated clearly. She then focused on the asset she valued most. I'm taking the Porsche. Adam, you can have the ugly sedan. I met her gaze and simply smiled, sliding the official documents across the coffee table. I chose my career and the devastating truth. She said, your new company is going to fail. I'm taking the Porsche. I replied by showing her the official SEC documents confirming the acquisition of her father's business. My company had just absorbed his entire failing operation. Her betrayal left her father financially ruined and her entire family exposed. Update 3. The fallout was immediate and focused entirely on the betrayal's consequences for her family. Xyro's father's business, Kent Luxury Imports, had been completely absorbed by my massive new firm. The documents I presented were official SEC filings confirming the acquisition and her father's immediate insolvency. Her attempt to seize the car was met with the financial ruin of her entire support structure. She immediately cycled through intense anger and disbelief. She sent me frantic, unintelligible messages demanding to know my involvement in her father's downfall. You deliberately targeted my family, Adam, she accused me loudly in a text. I provided ethical valuation to my employer, I replied factually. Her denial was absolute. She still believed her father could somehow reverse the acquisition. This denial was quickly met by the freezing of all his corporate assets. I remained calm and analytically detached through the rapid process. My focus was entirely on the high-level security transition. My emotional state was stable and highly focused on the future. Moving day arrived with a quiet finality. I shipped my few personal belongings from the condo. Xyro was absent, dealing with the legal fallout surrounding her father's bankruptcy. I flew directly to Geneva, feeling a profound sense of forward momentum and ethical vindication. My first detailed view of my new life in Geneva, Switzerland, was one of precise order and immense discretion. My new flat in Ville was minimalist and highly secure. The job as head of private equity operations was immediately demanding, requiring intense focus on asset management and strategic planning. I leased an efficient, high-performance Tesla Model Y for my commute. Update 4. I was thriving professionally in the new, high-stakes environment. The role required precise risk assessment and quick, strategic decisions. My team was highly supportive and respected my analytical precision. Socially, I embraced the city's stability and order. I met a new circle of friends, including a British economist and a French investment banker. My relationship with Dr. Isabelle Dubois, a brilliant structural economist I met at a conference, began to deepen. Financially, the $600,000 package meant my wealth was accelerating quickly. I was investing aggressively in secure Swiss accounts. My lifestyle improvement was controlled, focused entirely on quality of life and sound investment. By late October, 5 months into the role, I achieved my first major milestone. I successfully managed the integration of a complex new asset portfolio, including the remnants of Kent Luxury Imports. This efficient integration resulted in a substantial mid-year performance bonus of $75,000. I immediately put the entire bonus into my new account. Xyro's old network began reaching out, curiosity overriding their loyalty. Sarah, her event planner friend, sent me a tentative LinkedIn message, Heard your firm is everywhere now, Adam. Sarah wrote. The growth has been exponential. I replied politely. David, the friend who had questioned my move, sent a cryptic message asking about the Atlanta real estate market. They were clearly curious about the true scale of my success and Zara's sudden lack of assets. I remained polite but entirely reserved. Update 5. In February, I cemented my professional success with a major public announcement. I was featured in a specialized finance journal detailing the efficient integration of distressed assets into the firm's portfolio. I updated my LinkedIn profile, clearly displaying my new title, Managing Director of Portfolio Strategy. This promotion confirmed my rapid ascent in the global finance sector. Xyro learned the full, non-negotiable truth about my status and the true scale of my power. She had mocked my new company, only to see it crush her father's business and elevate me to managing director. She sent a series of messages, alternating between demanding explanations and emotional pleas. You knew about my father's debt for months, she claimed furiously. I acted as an ethical consultant to my employer. I responded with factual clarity. You should have saved his business for my sake, she argued illogically. That business was financially untenable, I countered. Sarah, her event planner friend, sent me an explicit apology email. She confessed that Zara had convinced her I was financially incompetent. Why feel completely foolish for not seeing your actual power, she wrote. My sister Beth called me from the States. Your ethical strategy won the entire game, Adam, she confirmed. Update 6. In late May, Zara visited Geneva, claiming she was there for a low-profile retail conference. She contacted me, requesting a meeting to discuss the house situation. I agreed to meet her at a quiet, neutral outdoor cafe near my office complex. When she sat down, she presented a practiced narrative of emotional growth. She claimed she had spent the last year realizing her life was too focused on transient luxury. I now value stability and commitment, Adam, she insisted softly. I am pleased you have achieved that clarity, I acknowledged neutrally. She insisted she had changed, but I referenced her past actions and the consequences she caused. I mentioned the public record of her father's bankruptcy and the shame it brought her family. Your last act was to attempt to steal my vehicle, I stated calmly. That was only an emotional reaction to the stress. She tried to excuse it. I then referred to the SEC filings I showed her. Your family's instability was a documented fact, I noted. She insisted on returning, suggesting she could now be the perfect supportive partner for a managing director. I can be a valuable asset to your career, Adam, she proposed quickly. I declined calmly, explaining that the fundamental trust was destroyed by her explicit threat to take the Porsche and the subsequent family betrayal. The breach of trust is absolute and final, I told her. Update 7. Zara did not accept the decline gracefully. She attempted a brief, disorganized period of online retaliation. She posted anonymous claims on several financial forums, implying I had used insider trading to acquire her father's business. She claimed I was an unethical corporate raider. My lawyer, Marcus Chen, managed the attack with efficient legal documentation. Marcus immediately sent a cease and desist letter to the hosting platforms. He provided signed letters from the SEC confirming my complete cooperation and ethical conduct during the acquisition. The claims were removed quickly due to their defamatory nature. Her online claims failed completely. Dr. Isabelle Dubois, my partner, posted a factual rebuttal on a respected economic blog. She confirmed the logical necessity of the acquisition based on publicly available valuation metrics. Zara lost all remaining credibility when the forums noted her claims were based on personal animus. Update 8. 1 year later, my life was stable, profoundly successful, and deeply satisfying. I was the permanent managing director of portfolio strategy. My wealth was securely growing. I was in a committed, highly compatible relationship with Dr. Isabelle Dubois. Isabelle was now a senior economist at the World Bank. Our life together was based on mutual respect, strategic collaboration, and intellectual rigor. In June, Zara sent a final, short message. It was a brief email to my personal address. I understand that I created this entire situation. The email read, I accept the consequences of my final, foolish choice, she wrote, finally admitting the truth. I sent a short, professional, and final reply. I wish you future stability and wisdom. I wrote. I immediately blocked the address. The entire past conflict was completely and finally resolved. Final update. The following autumn, I was attending a major economic summit in Davos. While at a dinner, I was approached by Mr. Kent, Zara's father, the former owner of Kent Luxury Imports. He looked significantly older and subdued. Mr. Kent apologized to me, his expression solemn and respectful. I need to apologize for my daughter's conduct, Adam. He admitted his own mistake in fostering a culture of superficiality and ignoring my quiet, analytical competence. He confessed that he had consistently undervalued me because I did not fit his image of wealth. I wrongly taught her that external image was the only thing that mattered. Mr. Kent stated, I regret that my business failure became your final leverage. He added honestly. I accepted his apology, acknowledging that his admission of error was significant. I explained that my actions were always driven by the necessary defense of my professional integrity and my future. My reflection confirmed the final, enduring life lesson. Never allow others to undervalue your quiet, technical competence in favor of their loud, failing ambitions. I moved past the betrayal by calmly turning my professional rise into the complete, legal acquisition of my opponent's entire financial foundation. The quiet, logical closure came from knowing that I had secured a future of immense wealth, intellectual partnership, and complete ethical control.